Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have one of the reading comprehension text, and on the basis of the reading comprehension text, some questions have been given here, and the direction for question is answer the following question based on the information given below. We'll go for the text first. We will read that and understand what this text is all about, and then after we will proceed for the questions answer. So let's understand the text. So the text points out what has intelligence: slime molds, ants, fifth grades, shrimp, neuron, chat GPT, fish shoals, rodent collies, crowds, birds, you and me, all of the above. Some are at the risk of sounding transgressive, maybe none. The question is a perennial one, often dusted off in the face of a previously unknown animal behavior or new computing devices uh, that are trained to do human things and then do those things well. We might intuitively feel our way forwards, choosing, for example, to accept border collies, to accept border collies and children, deny shrimp, and slime molds and argue continuously about different birds. But really, it is impossible to answer this question until we have dealt with the underlying issue. What exactly is intelligence? Despite facilitating the global reach of our species, intelligence remains notoriously slippery to define. When praised, scholars often point to more tractable mental skills such as abstraction, problem solving, efficiency, learning, planning, social cognition, and adaptability. Even numeracy or the ability to recognize oneself in a mirror, although they quibble over which ones most demonstrate intelligent behavior. This plurality is precisely what we should anticipate. Intelligence is not and never has been a single entity. Instead, it is a hominin shaped heuristic, a way for us to easily perceive valued characteristics in other people. Like beauty, it lies in the eye of the beholder, and just as we cannot expect to automate the personal, shifting lens through which each of us sees beauty, a search for anything like artificial general intelligence misses the point. Nothing in intelligence makes sense except in the light of humanity and our own evolved perception. Eventually, instead of talking about how machines, animal collectives, or individual birds and bugs exhibit intelligence, we should be better prepared to investigate how they changed or iterated those actions in their own evolutionary spaces. Unshackled from human shaped standards, for those seeking a middle ground, we might be tempted to say that each species has its own intelligence, but that claim carries too much baggage at this point. A planet full of problem-solving life exists apart from humans, and none of it is obligated to fit nearly to our subjective, okay, self-serving mindset, isn't it? So, okay, yeah. So, fit nearly into our subjective, self-serving mindset, we need to avoid the real risk that we will miss animal or machine, or plant, fungal, bacterial, or even extraterrestrial ways of succeeding just because they are fundamentally alien to our conceptual toolkit, like gazing through a stained glass window at a vibrantly colored snow-covered landscape. Intelligence is not just what we are looking for, it's what we are looking through. Humans value intelligence, and that is not about to change. What may change is our capacity to appreciate other kinds of life on their own terms. Divorce from anthropocentric box checking, what we hope our suggestions does is prevent any one limited metric from skewing or obscuring the diverse kind of success that exist in our world, including those we have yet to discover. We won't just see more clearly, we will see more than we did before. If intelligence is no longer a default metric for species worthiness, how might our value judgment shift? Would we be more inclined towards wonder? And might this wonder impel us to conserve the other wondrous creature with whom we share this planet? Okay. Uh, and the environments in which they evolved their own flavors of success, we think that would be smart thing to do. So we have understood the text and let's go for it. What does the question point out? How does the interrogative start contribute to advance the main idea presented in the above passage? Well, looking at the choice, so we need to find out which of the option that will be means indicating to the main idea presented in the above passage. If I talk about that, the passage actually explores the concept of intelligence and questions who or what possess it, isn't it? Even it discusses what? Discusses how we often think intelligence is unique to humans, but it might also be present in various creatures and even in artificial systems like computers. However, defining intelligence is tricky because it's not a single clear thing. It's a way we can say that we perceive. Um, so you can say that it's a way we perceive certain abilities and traits, certain abilities, uh, and you can say that traits, and it can vary from person to person. So even the passage argues that intelligence is a human-made concept. What is that intelligence? It is a human-made concept. Human-made concept. Okay, so it's a human-made concept that doesn't fit neatly with how other spaces or machines operate. Instead of trying to fit everything into our human idea of intelligence, we should understand and appreciate different forms of, you can say that success, different forms of success, and problem solving, problem solving, mm, problem solving as they are without forcing them into our own standards. So this is something the text is trying to tell us. If I go for the short summary of this particular passage, so the passage questions the traditional notion of intelligence by asking whether it exists in various forms across different creatures and machines. It suggests that intelligence is not a single, not uh, a single not a single, or you can say that um, we can say that fixed quality, not a single, and you can say that fixed quality, right? Um, so we also find out that it is a kind of a thing which human made perspective that may not apply universal. Instead of trying to measure all forms of intelligence by human standard, we should recognize and value diverse ways of achieving success in different species and systems. Isn't it? That's what. So, all total, if you talk about the main idea of the text, the main idea is that intelligence is a human construct that doesn't fit all life forms of machine. To truly appreciate different kinds of intelligence, we should avoid what we should avoid what imposing human standards and instead understand them on their own terms, right? So if you talk about the tone of the text, the tone is you can say contemplative, and you can also say that uh, critical, contemplative and critical, isn't it? So it questions traditional views on intelligence and encourages a broader more inclusive perspective. So, and if you talk about the style of writing, so we can say it's a philosophical, philosophical and reflective one. Philosophical and reflective, using complex ideas and thoughtful examination of how we define and perceive intelligence. It combines academic analysis with a call for a more open-minded approach to understand different forms of intelligence, isn't it? Now, as far as we understand the question, it points out we need to find out um, how does the interrogative start contribute to advance the main idea presented in the above passage. So as per the choices given here, the first choice stated it highlights the diversity of entities that might be considered intelligent, prompting readers to question traditional boundaries of intelligence. Second, it sets up the ambiguity and complexity of defining intelligence, leading into the discussion of the fluid and subjective nature of the concept. Third, it emphasizes the pervasiveness of the debate around intelligence, showcasing how this question spans across various domains, including animals and machines. And four, it introduces the idea that intelligence is a human-centric concept, challenging readers to consider how different forms of intelligence might exist beyond our usual perspective, isn't it? Now, on the basis of that, the interrogative start of passage, what has intelligence? That's indeed set up the complexity and ambiguity of defining intelligence, right? Uh, it introduces a wide range of entities that might be considered intelligent, signaling to the reader that the concept of intelligence is not straightforward and will be explored in depth throughout the passage, right? So that's what we find out. So let's say that if you look at the first option, so the first option stated what? It highlights the diversity of entities, right? So while the passage does discuss the diversity of, you can say that entities, um, the integrative style is more about setting up the discussion rather than highlighting this diversity immediately, isn't it? So in that case, we can consider option one cannot be the accurate one. So let's look at the two. So option two stated that what sets up the ambiguity and complexity. So this option, you can say that correct, because as far as we talk about the style, we understood that this option correctly identifies that the interrogative start introduces the idea that defining, you can say that intelligence um, is a complex and ambiguous. It prepares the reader for a discussion, and you can also say that um, about the fluid nature of intelligence. So hence we can say option two is a correct answer option here. But look at the option three. Option three stated it emphasizes the pervasiveness of the debate around intelligence, showcasing how this question spans across various domains, including animals and machine. So option three emphasizes the pervasiveness of the debate. This option is true, right? This option is true, but more related to the broader scope of the passage rather than the specific contribution of the interrogative start. So option three cannot be taken as the answer. Then four said it introduces the idea that intelligence is a human-centric concept, challenging readers to consider how different forms of intelligence might exist beyond our usual perspective. Now, option four introduces the human-centric concept. The idea that intelligence is human-centric is developed later in the passage rather than introduced by the interrogative start. So option four is far-fetched, you can say. So one, three, four can be considered as not the suitable main idea, which is on the basis of the interrogative contribution. So option two is the most appropriate here. Hence, we can consider option two is the answer here. Hope you understood that. Thank you.